And so that passed, and everyone should see, depending on what your house. Because what I heard as I moved around the county was everyone saying, you know what, the value of my house has dropped, but my taxes keep going up. And if my taxes keep going up, something is wrong here. It's borderline robbery. Something is wrong here. And so we heard that, and that was the best that we could do in this kind of recession. That passed as well. Spent a lot of time dealing with veterans, because a lot of our veterans are leaving the county. And veterans have done a tremendous, tremendous service to and for our country. If there's anyone that we can look at to give some kind of tax break, because if they're in our county, they're going to work. They're going to spend their money. They're in our county. They're going to buy homes. So I tried to approach it by which groups can we give a tax relief, knowing that, yes, it looks like we're giving money away, but on the other hand, in the long run, you're actually building a stronger community, and you have persons who are part of your community that will contribute financially. So in those three areas, the job the Job Recovery Act, trying to push the veterans tax credit, and making sure that at least homeowners, I tried it for senior citizens as well, but they didn't take my age to be a senior citizen. I'm almost there, right? I'm almost there. I'm just kidding. But in those three areas, we tried to look for tax breaks. Foreclosures, you know what's happening with that. I'm sure the governor talked to you about that. Foreclosures, it is what it is, and we've got to continue to move and continue to do better in those areas. And I think that at least what we passed out of session, that I'm sure he briefed you on, at least moves us in the direction of getting some things done. Yes.
Real quick question. Sydney Square Ackerman Security. Thank you for coming. You're very, very keen and very, very aware of our individual needs in the group as a chamber. Comment being one is that we're somewhere in between. Our general manager could send 4 people today, so we're a little bigger than a mom and pop shop, but we're not the industry name. And you're well aware of the fact that the county is very, very rich in talent. Question being, yes, it's absolutely necessary for some of these large regional and national accounts to come to Prince George's County. Totally agree. My question is, how do we as individual companies and as a large chamber get in front of these national procurement officers prior to things being shipped in, so that we do have the opportunity for the keep it loyal prior to them moving in? How do we find out who's coming to Prince George's County?
I think that's what I meant when I said, number one, we have to make that economic development office our major hub and priority, not just a sideline, something that's off there, with a $200,000 budget, and we really can't get the information. We really can't send people out to competitively bid. In my opinion, that has to become the hub. It has to become the hub that you then network with. They have to look at their staffing, and is their staffing effective? What do they need so that we have 1 or 2 of experts, I mean persons who have a track record of having done it before and having dealt with and lifted, in some ways, economic development in areas in which they've already worked. So we've got to get those persons in. Those persons must be, so to speak, your network. Your network. Their job is to go out on the broader level and to look and compete and to search and to come back and to then look at ways that we can put a tax package together that would be competitive, that we can have a long-term transportation plan that will help them to be, that will attract them here. Their job is also work with the Board of Education in saying, if we're going to bring the businesses here, we cannot continue to operate at this level. Now, what is wrong, and fix it. And whether it's conventional, whether it is something they want to do, listen, if it's broken, you got to fix it. That's what we keep looking at a broken situation. We say, gee, it's been like this. Well, what do you have to do to fix it? I think that in all of those arenas, you play a role, but you need, looking at our present structure, the only thing that I see that we don't have, the only thing that I see that we can use is to redesign, restaff, and put additional funds that we can get from other agents, other areas, into the Economic Development Office and make economic development the priority until we've reached some of these goals. If we do not, we're going to continue to address the same problems. The economic development person should have been in with us saying, look, what we have is terrible. I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just saying. But what we have is terrible in terms of licensing and all the hurdles, and one person doesn't know what the other person is doing, and you go upstairs and you're told, and you go across the street and it's another thing, and you do one thing, and then 3 weeks later they change it. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So if it takes legislation, I'm waiting for you all to come to me and to say, you know what, enough is enough. If they're not going to do it, we want legislation that will mandate. And then I can sit down and I can be a partner with my buddies and say, we have to do this and we don't want to do this. You have to do this. Please do it. But you've got a year to get it done. And if it's not a one-stop shop, as we've been campaigning on for the last 12 or 16 years, then it will be by legislative demand. Those are two things, economic development, legislative demand. I hope that helps. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed my morning with you, and I'm going to now eat some breakfast.